Welcome to Season 3, Episode number 5 of the Gospelovergimmicks podcast. Today, we're going to get manly. Let's get after it. Hello, and welcome to the Gospelovergimmicks podcast. I'm your host, Richard Stormer Norman, here to tell you everything I know and some things I highly suspect. So, before we get started, before we do the first thing, let me just share some information with you if you don't know it already. Alexa, give me a drum roll.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached 150 subscribers. We got 150 YouTube subscribers. Actually, we might have more than that because I think we might have got one or two more since that happened a couple days ago. But 150, man, 150. Can I just say y'all are awesome? Y'all are awesome. Never thought this was gonna happen. For sure, especially the early days when we first started off, and I had like 20 subscribers, and they were pretty much all people from my church or relatives. But I don't know why in the world 150 people want to watch my goofy looking self talk about the Bible. But I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're here. Here's the 200. Here's the getting to 200. I hear the more you get, the faster they come, or something like that. But you know, being who I am in this modern age of Christianity, where everything's all glitz and glam and gimmicks, you know, like the name of the podcast says, living in a day and age where the church has gotten like that, and I'm just old school King James Bible, beat on the pulpit, preach paint off the walls, kind of Christian, and I didn't think nobody really want to watch something like that. But I'm not alone. Like the prophet Elijah thought he was alone, and God said, "You ain't alone." So I guess there's a lot of other old school folk out there. But I appreciate y'all being here. So, how y'all doing? How y'all doing this fine Friday afternoon? Now, granted, it's probably Monday when you're listening to this, because that's when it's going to come out. But it's Friday when I'm recording it, so that's awesome. Fridays are great. I think if I'm going to wear these headphones, I'm going to have to incorporate the whole hat thing. So that's why I got this hat on. I'll let y'all believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved. I got this hat from Magnetic Scripture Signs Ministry. A long name. It's a long name. But I got this hat from them. I believe that's where I got it. But like I mentioned last week, KJV Clothing Company, Magnetic Scripture Sign. I'm not affiliated with them. I just like their stuff. So I just thought I'd throw it out there in case you're like me and you're looking for King James Bible apparel. Which is another thing that's hard to find these days. But anyway, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm doing good, even though it was rainy and cold today. And it's been kind of cold all week long. But it's going into the 70s this weekend. And it's going into the 80s next week. Florida's messing with me, y'all. Florida's messing with me. Because I want to get excited and be like, oh, alright, cold weather's finally over. But I know how Florida does me every year. She starts climbing back up in the 80s, and I'm all short sleeves, and it's all great and wonderful. And then it's like, boom, 30. And we get like another week or two of like cold, like Florida cold now. Granted, you people up north, I understand. Y'all got a lot worse. I can only speak for what I know. So, that's that. What else is there that I need to talk about? There's the Bible giveaway. When was the last Bible giveaway we did? Was it November or October? I want to say it was October was the last Bible giveaway. No, wait, that don't make sense. It would have been November, because November would have been a Bible giveaway. Nothing in December, and in January we did the Bible study. So it's been in November since we did the last Bible giveaway. So we're going to do one. Not right now, but I'm going to record. I'm going to record that. I might go live in the morning when I get out of bed, with probably more like afternoon, with the Bible giveaway video. And I got it sitting right here. And I ain't going to show you. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow. But since we got to 150 subscribers, I'll pick something nice out of my collection to give away. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I think that's all I got as far as opening things. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get into the subject today, which is toxic femininity. So obviously, last couple of weeks, there's been a stupid amount of news over the past couple of weeks that I want to touch on all of it, but can't do that because, you know, we went long last week and the week before that, so I'm going to try and get back to normal time this week. 20 to 30 minutes is where I like to keep it. So I'm not going to cover the governor of Virginia and talking about killing babies after they're born, or none of that, and all the other nonsense that's been going on. But a couple weeks ago, there's an ad from Gillette. Everybody got all up in arms about toxic masculinity. That's been a buzzword, buzz phrase for a while now. And you know, I saw this ad before. I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was on YouTube or something. But I saw an ad before that was similar, or maybe it was the same one. I didn't see it, but I don't know. Where they talked about all these things about manhood, and, you know, some of those things are toxic. And see, they didn't say toxic masculinity, but I knew what they were talking about. But I've been a member of the Dollar Shave Club for a year, so Gillette can kick rocks. So I ain't used them in a year anyway. But let's face the facts. Men are softer than they used to be. And I'm not talking about men, any of y'all men out there listening to this. I'm talking about myself too. Like when you look back 100 years ago at what men used to do, you think you can do it? Because some of them things, I don't think I can do it. Men used to walk on skyscrapers and they didn't have no safety harness on. They're just, you know, way up there in the air, just walking on beams of steel, eating their lunch on them. I don't know about all that. I'm not a big fan of being that high up. Men used to win world wars. You know, really you look, and I'm not, you know, if you're a veteran, I'm not trying to minimalize your service or anything, but if you look back at how them boys served in World War II compared to how soldiers serve today, you have to agree you got it a lot better than they do. You know, I'm not saying your job is easy or anything. Not trying to downplay it. But it gotta be real. Them boys back in World War II, they had a lot rougher than you do. They used to do things just to see if they could do them. Like Chuck Yeager, breaking the sound barrier. People like that paved the way for some of the things we enjoy today. And they're just like, you think we can break the sound barrier? I don't know, let's go try it. Nowadays, it'd be like, oh, I don't know, man. You gotta have the right safety precautions in place. And they're like, put a 5-gallon bucket in there and I'll sit on it. Let's go. They took risks that men nowadays don't want to take. But God created, we've mentioned this before, God created men and women different for a reason. For a reason we're different. I got a cap to this screwdriver and I don't know where it is. It's driving me crazy. But anyway, sorry to chase a rabbit there. God created man and woman different for a reason. He created woman to be the helpmeet, as it says in Genesis. She is the help, like I've said in prior videos. Man can do these things. And God said, well, I need to create someone who can do all the things man can't do. You understand that? So man can do all the things woman can't do, a woman can do all the things man can't do. They get together and it works out fantastic. But masculinity can be skewed in both directions. Because I don't want you to think I'm about to go on some kind of tirade talking about where you need to go outside and chop wood and change the oil in your car and watch football, whatever else kind of, whatever kind of manly thing you think there is. But masculinity can be skewed in either direction. You can say, oh, well, you're a real man, you'll do this. Just nonsense things like, oh, you'll hunt a bear or you'll work on cars. You can be a real man and not work on cars. You can be a real man and not hunt. You can be a real man and not watch football. None of those silly things like that does not make you a man. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But it can also be skewed in the other direction. With like, oh, real men wear pink. Okay, probably not the best one. My dad wears pink sometimes. I'm not wearing pink. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not wearing that. Real men, show their feminine side. No, they don't. No, they don't. So it can be skewed in both ways. You can say, well, real men are soft and cuddly and smushy. No. But it can also be both directions. You see what I'm saying? That kind of goes with my theory. I have a theory. One day I'm going to write about it or something. I don't know if it's my theory or not. I don't know if I came up with it. Because something tells me somebody thought of this before. But I have a theory. I don't really have a name for it, but we'll just call it the swing theory. My theory is that when one group of people goes further and further in a direction, that the opposite group of people goes further and further in their direction. That's how I've gotten with politics. I've seen that with politics. The more the left goes liberal, moves toward the left, the further to the left they go, the more the right goes to the right. At least that's just my opinion. That is my theory. You can also put that in terms of theology. The more society, like Calvinism used to not be as popular as it seems like it is now. But people like Joel Osteen, people like that came along. They got popular. The church shifted in that more liberal, cuddly-wuddly kind of biblical bankruptcy of the Joel Osteen types and stuff. So they went further that way, which caused other people to go further, caused Calvinism to rise up to combat it, because I guess nobody else was doing it. But anyway, that's just my theory. That is my theory. I'll write about that someday. I'll write a book. Get rich. Being a man has little to do with your hobbies or job or even your personality. 1 Kings 2:2. I had a Bible sitting here just a minute ago. Coco, where'd you put? Oh, I put it over there. I forgot. I had to get up early this morning because I got in trouble for being late at work. So I got up early this morning. I had some time to kill. So I read the Bible this morning. That was fantastic. I always wanted to be one of them people that gets up early and reads their Bible, but I am not a morning person in the least bit. But I was this morning. Where are we going? 1 Kings 2:2. We got the Ruckman reference out. Because why not? 1 Kings 2:2. Wait a minute. This is 2 Kings. Y'all don't have to worry because I'm going to edit all these gaps out and I ain't going to have to listen to it. It's a wonderful thing about editing. 1 Kings 2:2. We'll start in 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth, Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. It seems like King David's prerequisite for being a man was not your personality, your job, your hobby. It was being strong. You can be strong and, not look like the most manliest man on the planet. I mean, look at me. I weigh $145 and I'm 6'2". I'm not very intimidating looking. But that how you look on the outside doesn't determine whether or not you're a man. But he said strong. That's what men are supposed to be, strong. The man and a father, a mother, the father, the man, that's what it's supposed to be anyway, teaches strength, teaches the kid how to be strong. And the mother teaches gentleness. Listen, y'all, when I was a kid, now he's gotten softer now than he was when I was a kid. My dad does not like animals. He don't like them. He can tolerate a dog and anything that's in a cage or a fishbowl. But he don't like cats. I've seen my dad do some stuff that when I was a kid it might have got him arrested if he'd have done it today to cats. But he just don't like animals. He's not a big fan of them. He don't even really like dogs, but he tolerates them sometimes. Plus, like I said, he's got a little soft in his old age. But yeah, my dad, if I'd have just grown up with just my dad, I'd probably hate animals too. I probably wouldn't care for animals at all. But my mom loves animals. She's all about animals. She's birds and fish and dogs and cats. She'd have all that if she could. But my mom taught me to love animals. See what I'm saying there? They each have something to offer that the other one don't like. And they're probably going to listen to this and whatever, but whatever. Like my mom, when I was in high school, about to go from being a kid to an adult, my mom always treated me like a kid. And I understand that. She's mom. Supposed to do that. But my dad always treated me like I was a grown man. That's the two different things parents offer up that you can't get when you just have one. 1 in 4 kids. 1 in 4. Think about 4 kids you know. 4 kids in your mind right now that you know. One of them lives in a fatherless home. 1 in 4. They're only getting half of the equation. They're only if they're living with just mom, they're only getting, she's teaching them how to be gentle, but ain't nobody teaching them how to be strong or tough or anything like that. Well, she might think she is. And listen, if you're a single mom, I'm not saying anything negative about you. I'm glad you're out there trying. I'm glad you're out there trying to do the right thing. Too much soft and not enough hard is what these kids are getting. Because the difference between the two, child gets hurt. Think about this when you're a kid. I don't know how your parents were. When you're a kid and you get hurt, or nowadays, probably the same way. You're a kid and you get hurt. What does your mama do? Oh, my baby. Oh, my baby. She comes out there, she kisses your boo-boo. She puts a Band-Aid on there. She gives you a popsicle and sits you in front of TV watching cartoons and whatnot. I don't know. What happens if you get hurt when your dad's around? Get over it. Get up. Brush it off. Walk it off. Dad teaches you that, hey, sometimes life hurts. And not everybody's going to coddle you. Sometimes it hurts and you just keep on going. Sometimes you get cut, you just wrap it up, keep on going. Sometimes I get hurt at work, shim myself on the trailer hitch, keep on going. Life's tough. That's the kind of things Dad teaches you, where Mom just kind of wants to, cuddle you up and whatnot. So let's look at some statistics. 63% of the youth suicides come from a fatherless home. 90% of homeless or runaway children come from a fatherless home. 85% of children with behavior disorders come from a fatherless home. 71% of high school dropouts come from a fatherless home. Those are big percentages. Those ain't little. Those ain't little percentages. Those are the majority of kids that have some sort of problem come from a fatherless home. Proverbs 22:6. Y'all know this one. Did I ever tell you how much I love this Ruckman Bible? Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. In order to listen, single mom, you can train up your child in the way they should go. I'm not saying you cannot. But the ideal is to have two. Each providing something the other cannot provide. Like I said, man and woman are different. So each one provides something that child needs that the other one can't provide. Today, boys are raised by their mama. In most cases, that's hence the term single mom. They're raised by their mama, and when they go to school, most of their teachers are women. So they're getting way too much femininity in their life. Hence the name of this episode. Being a man has nothing to do with what society deems as manly. That can change. Anytime it can change. What society deems as manly. Right now, I don't know if it's still the case, but right now beards are manly. Beards are great. Let me show you how I used to look with my beard. But today, beards are the thing. So if you're watching on the video, that's what I used to look like. Look at that. That thing was majestic, wasn't it? I'd sure like to get it that long again, but I apparently don't have the patience. But anyway, that was just a little side window for y'all. But how you look, all that stuff, that can change. That can change. Next year, clean cut, shade face. That might be the manly thing or something. Bald might be. I hope bald becomes the manly thing, because then I'm good to go. But being a man has everything to do with doing what God says a man should do. Ephesians chapter 5. Oh, look at there. Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle, or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own body. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. You can't raise a kid, mom and dad, unless mom and dad stay together. And dad, if you're going to be an influence in your kid's life, you got to love your wife, or else, she's going to go run off, find somebody else that will love her. Possibly. But you have to love not only your wife, you got to love your kids too. I love your kids. So this subject today is kind of a precursor, because I was going to do an episode on marriage. You ever heard somebody say, well, I don't need a piece of paper. Marriage is just a piece of paper. So we're going to talk about that next week. Marriage is not just a piece of paper. But that'll be next week. Toxic masculinity. What a stupid phrase. Judging by these statistics I just read you, it would appear on paper, facts, truth, things like that, things that some people don't like, that we don't have a problem with toxic masculinity. We got a problem with toxic femininity. Too much femininity the boys are getting. You've seen, these boys, especially that one that's been on the news lately, that drag boy or whatever they call him, the little 10-year-old kid dressing like a woman. That's not training up your child in the way they should go. Them people right there need to have... I'm just going to be quiet on that one. Just be quiet on that one. Men that are men are an endangered species. We need more masculinity, not less. Then, possibly, if we had men being men, you know what that would equal out to? Men who don't leave their wife high and dry with a kid. Men, part of being a man is loving your wife. So there you go. That cements the marriage right there if you're loving your wife and she's doing the things she's supposed to do. Which leads to men being leaders in their home and raising their boys to be men like them. You see how this all works out? God knows what he's doing, y'all. God knows what he's doing. If we would just listen to him and do what he says, we'd be doing all right. So that's all I got for you today. I told you I didn't want to go long, so that's all I got for you today, even though I could probably chase a couple rabbits. But we'll leave it at that. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook. Facebook.com/gospelovergimmicks is where you get to the Facebook page. And I'm going to share the group in there at some point, because we do got a group. I was just talking earlier on a Facebook group that's for Christian podcasters, and somebody was asking about groups, like, why did you have a group? And I was like, well, I started a group for my podcast to get people's interaction, so I could get some, y'all could throw some things out there, and maybe I could do an episode about it. We could talk about some things I talked about, further discussion on the episode and the group, but I didn't pan out. And I understand the way Facebook does groups is kind of messed up, but maybe I'll try and get y'all interested in the group again. I don't know. But I haven't posted anything in it in months because nobody ever said anything in there. Nobody ever interacts with me in there. So, but I might share a link to the group sometime this week on the Facebook page. See if anybody's interested. But Twitter, GXG_ministries on Twitter. If you want to go on there, and the podcast gets automatically uploaded, the audio part of the podcast. And I retweet preachers whenever they say something awesome. So, Instagram, @gospelovergimmicks on Instagram if you want to go over there. And I post updates, I try to, during the week, saying this week's episode, and I'll have the title if I have one, and we'll talk about and I'll put a bunch of hashtags, so it'll get a bunch of views, and because that's what you do, I guess. So that's what Instagram's for, is marketing, I guess. But what else? I got email, Stormer Norman. No, wait, that ain't even the right one. gospelovergimmicks@gmail.com. If you need to ask me a question, you want to know more about how to get saved, or whatever you want to, email me. I reckon nobody ever does, so but I'll throw it out there anyway. Patreon, if you want to become a patron. Joanna Garrett being our only patron, our patron saint, if you will. But if you want to get on there and donate some money to help fund the ministry, that would be helpful and appreciated. But if you don't want to, that's fine. I ain't gonna think no less of you. I still love you. So anyway, that's patreon.com/gospelovergimmicks. So that is all I got for y'all today. 30 minutes is what it says on the timer. After I edit it, it'll probably be less than 30 minutes. So till next time, take up your cross